Good morning to all of you, and thank you for your presence today. We are appreciative that you're here today as we roll out the Fall 2018 Transformation Plan Update. Our Chief of Staff and Transformation Officer, Mr. Dan Pajali, will be up in a moment to provide the overview of this year's effort to date, and we look forward to hearing that and sharing this with the larger Sandusky metropolitan community. This morning, we are pleased to have with us the President of our Board of Education and other board members who are present. We deeply appreciate the ongoing support of our board members towards our transformation plan and other strategic initiatives in the district. So would you give a nice Blue Streak welcome to the President of the Board of Education. This is Bridget Green Church.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Sanders. Thank you all for being here this morning. The Board of Education could not be more pleased than to reveal to you the updates in its transformation plan. As you know, our district administrators and our educators have been working exceedingly hard to bring us the updates and to really transform our district, as we witnessed within our recent report card. I am very proud to acknowledge my fellow board members here today, Mrs. Martha Murray, Vice President, Mr. Jeff Crable, Mr. Tom Patterson, and Mrs. Kate Barbaros in her regrets. Again, thank you all for your continued support of Sandusky City Schools and the efforts that we are making and the achievements that we are gaining in education with everything that we are doing to provide the children of the city of Sandusky with a quality education. Thank you so much, and go the Streaks.
Thank you, Mrs. Churchwell, and again to our board members, we are appreciative of the excellent support provided and vision provided by our board members. So normally at our central office meeting, we have this exuberant and passionate and dynamic update from our wellness liaison, Ms. Pat. But Ms. Pat, today we will not be doing the update, so we'll catch us next month. Before I bring my colleague and friend up to share with you the Fall 2018 update, I do want to make a couple of quick announcements. One is I was informed just today that the RN program that we celebrated with exuberance just a couple of nights ago, I think that was our largest crowd at the high school auditorium I've seen in many, many years. Dan, you would have been really pleased with it. The entire floor was almost completely packed. And I think it's a result of several dynamic initiatives that are underway, in particular our own district's RN program. And I was informed by Mr. Crable today that we have received full endorsement and full support and approval from the Ohio Board of Nursing for our program. So I think that deserves a nice round of applause. I think it spells well for the future of work in our district. And as our economy and as our jobs in our nation continues to transition and transform, if I were in Youngstown or Warren, Ohio this morning, I would be talking about how we need to transition and move forward with new opportunities for workers who are the backbone of our nation and have been for many decades. Many of our parents and grandparents worked in the factories and industries of America to make our country what it is. So Sandusky City Schools' desire is to be the leading institution in this region as it relates to both career education for adults and for students in our district. And we look forward to sharing out with you as we go forward our vision relative to those particular initiatives. Every organization that desires to be a dynamic organization, particularly school districts, must have a vision of what it is and what it wishes to become. In Sandusky City Schools, our vision is aligned with the district's transformation plan. And it is essentially the blueprint for our future. It lays out our very specific strategic initiatives that we have underway, with student achievement being our top priority. And as our board president, President Churchwell, mentioned a moment ago, while we are pleased with our academic performance over this past year, we acknowledge and understand and share this with the larger Sandusky community that we're committed to continued growth and continued improvement. And lots of folks in this room are central figures in helping that become a reality. This morning, our task is to update the community with our fall 2018 update. And to make that presentation this morning, we are pleased to bring forward our Chief of Staff and Transformation Officer, Mr. Dan Capello. Let's give him a nice welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Sanders, and thanks to all of you for coming for this presentation today. I see you've got your copies hot off the presses, and I'm going to spend some time talking about that document shortly, but I do have to, and it's always a privilege to stand before you, by the way, I do have to acknowledge some individuals. First of all, our pillar captains, who are very important to this process because they give us all the data and the information that we need here to compile this document. We do the update twice a year, as you know, spring and fall, so we get together with them several times during the year to touch base and talk about what progress they're making toward their goals. They're a very important part of this. I have to thank Laura Barrett-Bache. Try not to acknowledge her birthday again, but happy birthday, Laura. Laura does yeoman's work on this thing. Notice how I got Overland in there. And without her putting it all together, I don't think it would happen. She takes all the information that's been compiled and then she works it into this great document. And she gets some help from Brooke Austin and Bill Ernsberger, who does the finished product, of course. Bill always does a fine job with that. Just to talk about the genesis of the transformation plan a little bit. During my last year before my first retirement as a high school principal, we being the administrators, were in a meeting on the third floor, and we had unveiled to us the next level initiative, which would be the genesis of the transformation plan. And I remember thinking at the time, because I knew I was headed out, somebody's going to have a lot of work to do. And I didn't include myself in there. Little did I know that I would come back at some point and be fully immersed in this transformation plan. But the one thing I will tell you is that from the time I left in July of 2013 until the time I came back in January 2016, I was really struck by the amount of progress we had made as a district with this transformation plan. And I think since 2016, we've made quite a bit more. We still have a ways to go. This is a document that is ever changing. As we find that we have needs that have to be addressed, we go about the task of addressing those. And that's the great thing about the transformation plan. It is an elastic document. It's now in its 5th year of existence. It began in 2014, and it continues to serve as the foundation of our strategic plan to redefine and reform the delivery of academic and educational services in order to meet and exceed 21st century learning standards. Now, I had a parent ask me recently for a copy of the transformation plan. And I gave her a copy, and she was struck by how much is going on in this district. She said, I've had kids in this district for years, and I never knew how much was being done, because we're all kind of in our little bubble in our buildings, and I know I was at the high school, had a really good feel for that somewhat of a feel for the entire district. But when you get into this document, you really begin to understand how it all fits together. All 12 pillars fit together, and they have to be working in unison for this thing to be effective. And I believe that we are for the most part, and we've been very successful at reaching our goals over the years. Currently, we have approximately 87% of our goals in the district being completed or in progress, while 13% of the goals have not yet been started. Ultimately, our goal as a district is to complete all 182 goals that are part of the 12 pillars of excellence. And that's what we aim to do this year. I want to take some time, if I may, and go through each pillar and just hit a few high points. And I will tell you that the pillar number 1 is academics for a reason. I mean, that's what we're all about. Everything else fits into that and assists with that. But the academic piece is the most important thing that we do on a daily basis. The district's performance this past year has given us a firm springboard for obtaining the goal of achieving an overall A grade in the near future. That's what we're striving for. We're very happy with our progress to date. We're happy, but not totally satisfied, that we received an overall grade of C on the last state report card. And this accomplishment, I think, came about because of the transformation plan being implemented and in place and helping us toward our vision of building better dreams to transform every child, every classroom, and every school to excellence. That is what we are striving for. Just to touch on the academic goals, because they are so important. And these are goals that we have had in place and how we did this past year. The district will achieve a letter grade of C or higher in achievement in areas of reading and math as measured on the 2018 district report card. I'm pleased to report that we did receive a C this past year, so we achieved that goal. The district will achieve a letter grade of B or higher in K-3 literacy. In the area of reading, as measured on the report card, our grade was a D, so that is still in progress. I can tell you that because of that, a lot of resources are going into helping us reach that goal this year. The district will achieve an overall letter grade of C or higher in progress, as measured on the report card. Our grade was a B, so we achieved that. The district will achieve an overall letter grade of C or higher in gap closing. Our grade was a B, so that goal has been achieved. The district will achieve an overall letter grade of C or higher in graduation rate, prepared for success, as measured on the report card. Our graduation rate grade was a D. Prepared for success was an F. Now, a lot of districts have a really difficult time with that particular item. Our graduation rate, though, is improving, and we're very pleased about that. We, I believe it was 2016, our graduation rate, four-year graduate, was measured at 76.1%. So we have come up to 82.9%, and I have no doubt that that rate will improve as we go through time. Also, 94.3% of our district's third graders met the third grade reading guarantee requirement for the fourth grade, and that too is significant. Pillar number 2, a few of the high points. We've been expanding our offerings as part of our Blue Streak University, which is an ongoing initiative that we've had for the past several years. Blue Streak University received approval from Bowling Green State University to include some new courses, Introduction to Journalism in a Democratic Society as one of the College Credit Plus courses. We also have initiated a couple of chemistry classes at Sandusky High School, taught by a BGSU Firelands professor, Charu Chopra, and those courses have proven to be very popular. They will lead to the class of Chemistry 1100 during the second semester, so our students are awarded college credit by taking this class. And Dr. Shopper has done a tremendous job with this particular program. We're very pleased to get her. We've also expanded offerings with our online coursework in psychology and introduction to sociology, race, and ethnicity through Lorraine Community College. We've implemented an aviation course at Sandusky High School as well, under the direction of Mr. Brad Agee, who is one of our teachers out there. And we have expanded opportunities for our students to pursue careers in the military. We've got an ASVAB test scheduled for December 6th. Last year we did 30 students. 30 students took the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery exam. This year we've got more than that scheduled. So this is getting a lot of attention from our kids, the idea of entering the military. This is really one of the first steps that you have to take. And that was not always the case. Several years ago, it was very difficult to get students to sign up for this test, but now that's happening. We continue to provide enrichment opportunities for our students to visit colleges. Dr. Richard Coombs takes the time to get our kids out to several of the colleges in the state of Ohio, University of Akron, University of Toledo, Bowling Green State University. They're trying to add more college visits for this coming year. So the Blue Streak University is alive and well. We have students in it who are well qualified and who are getting college credits. And as you know, last year we had our first graduate with a 2-year degree from Sandusky High School. And we were very proud of that particular fact. And we hope for more in that regard this year. The Sandusky Career Center has announced that it has received the designation, and that's pillar number 3, for training, being a center for training excellence from the state of Ohio. This designation allows for expansion of our current services and offerings to provide contract and customized training and business services to local employers. I should also mention, and Dr. Sanders already gave you a preview of this, but the Ohio Board of Nursing recently completed a survey of our practical nursing to registered nursing diploma program and concluded that all requirements have been met. And that is significant for us to carry on with this program. That program has been very, very well received, very strong demand for that. I want to mention also that the Ohio Department of Health has approved a state-tested nursing assistant program for us, the STNA program. And we have classes down at our Sandusky Digital Academy that have just started. And that is going to be a great benefit for the students in that particular program. They're going to be able to get certified to be an STNA nursing assistant, and they could leave that program and step into a position. That's our hope. And we're very pleased with where the adult ed program is. Obviously, we're always looking for ways to expand it and to improve the program. Pillar number 4, fine and performing arts. We've made some great strides with the Great Lakes Visual and Performing Arts Academy over the years. It was established to offer every child access to a well-rounded education that includes the arts. We were able to renovate an area of Sandusky High School to provide room that will better meet the needs of our students there who are in dance and theater. The new dance studio is now equipped with floor-to-ceiling mirrors designed to enable students to self-correct body posture and placement. The concrete floor has been replaced with sprung flooring, which acts as a shock absorber, enhances performance, and greatly reduces risk of injury. The dance students previously would kind of go wherever they could find a spot. It could be a hallway, it could be the main gym. That floor is pretty nice, but it's not really set up to be a dance floor. This has been a big positive for the students that are involved in that program. With regard to the theater program, having state-of-the-art improvements in the SHS auditorium with lighting and sound equipment allows our students to present their talents in a more professional manner to their audience and to our community. Raj Shepard, being the pillar captain, has really done a great deal of work in implementing new programs as part of this academy. The elementary after-school arts program is designed to enrich the established elementary arts program and introduce students to dance, theater, and new instrumental arts. These opportunities come at a younger age. They give them a background that will better prepare them to be competitive in both college programs and professional career opportunities. We now have a junior arts academy housed at Ontario School, the Adams Building, to help identify students with gifted abilities in the arts at a young age and to give them an accelerated course beginning in the 3rd grade in all disciplines of the arts. This is a great opportunity for us. And I have to thank Dr. Sturgill for really helping to make that happen. This has been in the planning stages for some time, but he had experience with the Oberlin Arts Academy when he was in Lorraine. And so he had a template for making this happen. Mr. Peters does a great job of getting the kids over to the building after school, and Mr. Kraft feeds the students. It's a tremendous program for our kids, and we're looking to expand that as well. We also have many summer opportunities, enrichment opportunities to provide for our students. Pillar number 5 is student services. Now, I think everybody knows that we have a rather large percentage of students in our district who need specialized assistance to be successful. And our student services department, under the leadership of Dr. Bijot, who is the pillar captain, does a great job of doing that. The updated pillar, and this pillar has been updated for student services. The updated pillar aligns to the district transformation plan. The original student services target areas in the recently released Ohio Department of Education, Ohio Strategic Plan for Education. The state of Ohio is committed to educate the unique needs of each student. Sandusky City Schools mirrors this vision to engage each and every student to discover his or her interests. Thus, each student graduates prepared to contribute to and lead the next generation in our global community. And I think we do a very good job overall of giving the resources necessary to the students who have those special needs, preparing them for graduation, and then the working world once they leave. It's interesting for me to see how many of those individual students are out in the community making positive contributions in the workplace and otherwise. And I attribute that to the training that they're receiving with us. Pillar number 6, athletics and student activities. Sean Cogley and Todd Downing are the pillar captains. I think all of us realize that a lot goes into activities and athletics in this district. We're very proud of our athletic program. We see evidence of what they're accomplishing all the time if we go to the various events. But there are some things that happen kind of behind the scenes that we don't often know about. For example, the Learn to Swim program. It had another great summer. We had 60 beginner swimmers learning how to feel comfortable in the water and enjoy it safely, which I think is very important for young people that live in this community, learning how to swim. I expect that number will rise as we improve our facilities and our capability of reaching out to more students. We also now have a Sandusky Aquatic Club, which experienced significant growth this summer with more than 85 swimmers from elementary through high school who participated in swim meets throughout the area. from June through the end of July, and that too is a great opportunity for our students. We no longer have the Briarcrest Swim Club, and I think we've stepped in to fill the void, and we're very pleased about that. We also have a Sandusky Bay Youth Volleyball League, which is for students in 4th through 6th grade. We had over 300 area students participating in this year's league. In addition, we implemented a drone and gaming club, which is really beginning to take steam. This club provides a platform for our students to compete in the area and possibly at the post-secondary level. Drone racing and online gaming have grown dramatically over the past few years. Members of the SHS drone team were invited to the Lorain County Superintendent's meeting this fall, where they demonstrated their skills and shared their experience in participating in running a drone racing team. We have a group of students in our district who are always looking for some interesting possibilities with activities. And we don't always have something for everybody. And I can remember when the high school implemented bowling as one of its athletic programs, and how many kids went toward that program because they were looking for a niche, and they found that. They've been very successful, and this qualifies as one of those programs. And I think this program is poised to take off. Of course, we always recognize at our banquets and award student athletic academic achievement. We always have a large number of students who receive certificates and certificates of merit and other rewards for being a scholastic athlete, a student athlete. And we know that participation in any of these activities will do nothing but enhance the experience for our students and leads to them probably having better grades and fewer discipline issues because they want to be able to participate. And we have certainly studies that back that up. Pillar number 7, technology with Eric Eckenrode. Eric is always challenged. All of our IT people are challenged to provide online and technological-based support for our students in our school system. They do a great job of that, and they are always trying to meet the demands for this rapidly ever-changing landscape of educational technology. They are starting to plan for the technology needs that we will have when we transition into our new buildings. They've worked with the consultants to find ways to reduce costs and still keep the same level of next generation network infrastructure that the district deserves. Sandusky High School and Sandusky Middle School receive cutting-edge science labs and are one of the few locations in Ohio to host a state-of-the-art planetarium. And of course, their primary focus now is to get everything ready for the online testing that lies ahead. And I'm confident they will do that. So this department is committed to providing a supportive role to our district academic goals, focusing on the implementation of new and current online curricular and curriculum software. Pillar number 8, professional development. I can remember several years ago where we had almost no professional development going on in this district. People would go to different conferences and workshops, but there was no cohesive plan. It was all kind of hit and miss, and they would more or less keep what they learned with them, and they didn't share it with anyone else. And all of that has changed. As you know, the purpose of professional development is to improve learning for adults and students. It has shown that effective professional development affects student learning and achievement increase when educators engage in effective learning challenges. And so we're constantly trying to upgrade professional development. Dr. Kate and her group are busy at work trying to lay out some professional development programs that people will take advantage of throughout the year. One of the opportunities that our new employees have is to attend the Blue Streak Boot Camp, which we have found to be very beneficial in recent years. It is convened each year in August and is a required activity for new employees from a cross-section of the district. The key component of the boot camp also relates to Sandusky's rich history of pride, tradition, and excellence. We really hammer that home because we feel it's important for all of our new employees to understand where we've been and where we're headed and why this district means so much to so many of us and really to everybody in this community. All employees must routinely complete mandatory training in blood-borne pathogens for school employees, getting a safety data sheet, Ohio ethics, law, homeless education, and restraint and seclusion. Each month that pops up on our computers, and I know we think sometimes, oh man, it's time to do that again. But it's very important that we take advantage of this online opportunity as part of our professional development. Many of the PD offerings are job embedded and incorporate activities that strengthen a collaborative culture of learning, steeped in data-driven decision-making. Dr. Sanders has planned a major conference with some superintendents in the state of Ohio for next Thursday. They're going to be coming to visit us and go through what are called instructional rounds. Dr. Kate is helping to head up that effort and doing a great job. She's really developing a template for this effort. There's no plan out there in the state of Ohio that comes anywhere close to what she is doing here. And I think the superintendents that visit next week will be very pleased with what they take away to their home districts. And we're going to be learning as we go, but I think it's going to do a lot to help our district get to where it needs to be academically. Pillar number 9, transportation. Mr. Peters is the pillar captain, and he is adding 2 special needs buses for this year, hopefully delivery before the end of the year. And of course, we added the 9-passenger minibus that remains another valuable transportation tool that we are trying to increase the usage of. And I want to point out the fact that we bus many more students than most districts do. We want to get them to school. And we also bus homeless and foster place students residing outside of the district attendance boundaries. Students being educated out of district. We have some of them that we have to transport. And those attending charter and parochial schools. So while we would like to have them with us, we still make sure that we honor our obligations to transport them to their schools. Pillar number 10, student nutrition and food services, Mr. Kraft. The Sandusky City Schools was again approved in August for participation in the National School Lunch and School Breakfast programs, community eligibility provision through the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Through this program, every student enrolled in Sandusky City Schools is eligible to receive a healthy breakfast and lunch at no charge through the 2022 school year. Students are able to participate in these meal programs without having to submit an application. I can't tell you how important the food service program is to our students. Many of them would not get a decent meal without the opportunity here at Sandusky City Schools to receive 2 meals a day. And participation in the lunch, breakfast, and lunch program has increased among staff and students. We're pleased about that. Mr. Kraft has gone about the business of upgrading some of the kitchens because we are going to be using them for a while to make them more efficient. And we are very pleased with the food service program, always trying to improve that aspect of our operation as well. Community partnerships. We're committed to ensuring that each and every parent and or guardian is connected to classroom teachers and principals. Now, we don't always reach that goal. There are some parents that have very little to do with their kids' education. It's the way they are. And sometimes those are the students that we have some of the most difficulty with because they don't have that parent support. It doesn't mean that we stop providing them the support that we can, but it's always much easier if the parents are on board. And we found over the years that parent involvement is one of the keys to improving student academic and achievement and school performance. Pillar number 12, school facilities. And Dr. Sanders and others contribute to this pillar. We are in the process right now, as many of you know, of choosing a new construction manager for the new buildings. We have a timeline of 2020 to have those first two buildings, the 3-6 building and the 1-2 building on the Ontario side, 3-6 next to the high school, completed. That construction manager choice will be done in the next several weeks. We're looking at a few of those companies to help us with this project. It was felt that there was a change that needed to be made. We made that change and we're moving forward. I am very pleased to announce also that the locally funded initiatives at the high school were all completed on budget and on time. Those include improvements to rooms 300 and 301 at the high school, the auditorium, the planetarium, which is now a state-of-the-art facility, unlike really any in the state of Ohio. Very few high schools have a planetarium to access like our high school does. And not to forget the science labs at the high school, again, which has been a great improvement for our students in the middle school when it comes to their science education. Will play a big part in our STEAM initiative, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So we're pleased that that project has been completed. And again, those schools will open in August of 2020. And then on to the pre-K kindergarten school on the Hancock site, which will open in 2022. It brings me to the end of the transformation plan. I would encourage you to read the update. Like I said, a lot of time went into putting it together. And what I would like to see, truthfully, moving forward, is that more of our staff become involved in learning about the plan. And every time there's an update, read about what's going on and all the initiatives that we put into place. I think it's important for our staff members to be able to talk about this plan and understanding how everything fits together in the district. And I think that's probably one of the things that we need to push for a little bit as I get ready to exit. That's one of the things I would like to see happen. Now, I probably ran over. I almost always do. But Mel didn't give me the cut sign, so I thank you for your attention. And one of the things I'm doing right now is giving Dr. Sturgill more of my duties. So I'm going to say right here that this one is going to go to him after today. And I'm sure he will do a fine job for you when he comes up in the spring. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pujali, for our fall 2018 update. And as you all know, Mr. Pujali has transitioned just a little bit. He'll be with us in the spring, working with some of our principals at the high school, at the Sandusky Digital Academy, and at our Ontario building, and Mr. Kozak at the middle school. So we look forward to his continued veteran leadership and supporting our efforts here in the district. A couple of announcements as we prepare to close this session. Wanted to just remind everyone, those who did not know, with regard to our nursing program, that we are boasting a 100% passage rate on their exam, on their NLEX exam. And I think that deserves a round of applause. We definitely want to make sure we are the leading organization, educational institution providing that effort. I want to acknowledge my colleague, Mrs. Gina Deppert, our Chief Financial Officer and Treasurer, who provides wise and consistent financial support and direction to our district. We appreciate her leadership and that of her department. Also, Dr. Sturgill was mentioned earlier, Dr. Cade was mentioned earlier as well. We appreciate those individuals and their contributions. As we get ready to close 2018, I want to thank all of you who were part of our effort to be recognized as a 2018 the District of Distinction, as acknowledged by our District Administration National Organization out of Connecticut. It reflects the kind of vision and direction our district is going in, and we couldn't be more proud. Kevin Toms, who heads up our buildings, grounds, and operations, could not be here today. He's on special assignment from the CEO. We expect him back next week with a full report of his assignment.
You got to.
And right now. And so Kevin, Toms, and John Fike do a terrific job with our facilities work, and we appreciate their leadership. And right now we're up to about 10 districts that'll be here next Thursday for as far east as Warren, Ohio, and as far south as Cincinnati area. And they could not be more anxious to come and see what we're doing and learn from each other. And we look forward to a great visit. So we will have visitors in the district. Each team, each district is bringing 5 to 6 people each. And so we'll be meeting with 300 and using the high school. And one of my superintendent colleagues said, when I told him we were meeting at the high school at 8 o'clock, he said, "Are you sure, Doc? Is that a good idea with all the student movement?" I said, "At Sandusky High School, that will not be a problem." And so, Mr. Jolly, that will not be a problem. So we're looking forward to that visit and the great work that will come out of it. Thank you to Dan for doing a terrific job on this. And with that, that concludes our report. Thanks for coming, and go Blue Streaks.